Monday. What is it? It's the 12th of August. And, well, I got to say hello, Sunshine. Hello, Sunshine, and everybody else out there. Hope you had a great weekend. I spent mine working on this program, trying to figure out some audio issues, which unfortunately we still haven't fixed. But I did find a workaround, so we're going to use that workaround for a while. Anyway, so today what we're going to talk about the 20 issues that President Trump is going to focus on during his presidency. We got that coming up first. We're going to do a little KGP, Korean Jean Pierre. Little Tulsi Gabbard. We got some liberal people on here today, talking about the border crisis, Democrats, still in the Republican policies. I mean, Trump says, oh, I'm going to do this. And all of a sudden, right away, Harris is going to do the same thing, which she could have been doing the whole time. So it's kind of funny how that works, right? Talk about Europe a little bit. And we're going to talk about freedom of speech. I'm guessing everybody is probably right now watching out on the Trump spaces. So they picked the wrong time because they're doing it during my show. So I'm going to lose y'all, but I'm sure y'all watch it later on. And we're probably going to discuss that tomorrow. So how's everybody doing? I hope y'all are doing good. Yeah, nobody's, let me just double check real quick to make sure that everything's working here on the interwebs. Because, let's see, there's nobody on YouTube, Twitch, or X. And I just want to make sure it's not because of what we're. Oh, no, it says live, so we're good. Everybody? Okay, we're live. I know it's working. Anyways, let's get to the meat and the bone of it, right? Right. Okay, let's go for the quote of the day today. Your quote of the day today says this: don't judge each day by the harvest you reap, but by the seeds that you plant. So what they're saying here is this, at least, I'm not able to interpret 100%, but if you were to ask me, they're saying, don't judge by, things that have happened to you today, but you want to judge by the things that are happening in the future, right? Things that you made happen. Like you built this tree so that way in 20 years, your kids will have some shade, right? Stuff like that, or you built this school in order to have kids. If you started the donations for the school to get things going in the future. That's what we're talking about here, folks. That's what we're talking about. Anyways, we're going to keep going on now. So today, President Trump came out with this, wait, that's the wrong one. Let's see. Today, President Trump came out with this 20 core promises to make America. Yeah, there's nobody watching. Why is there nobody watching this one today? I don't know what's going on. Interesting. Well, oh well. I'm live anyways. Can you guys check YouTube? So let's get it going. President Trump's 20 core promises to make America great again. Number 1, seal the border and stop the migrant invasion. I think that's dang good. I think that's a dang good thing to do, right? We definitely need to seal the border. Our border is one of our biggest issues we got going on right now. So number 2 says to carry out the largest deportation operation in American history. Carry out the largest deportation. So, I got an old buddy, this Mexican army dude that I was great friends with, and he would always say, build the wall, deport them all. So that's what we're doing, build the wall, deport them all. That's what President Trump wants to do, which is a good thing. So number 3, end inflation and make America affordable again. This one's going to take some work. I don't know how long it's going to take, but it's going to take some work because Joe Biden and the Democrats have messed our country up so much that we got to figure it's going to take a lot of planning and a lot of work because you just can't go from here to here right away, right? It takes an effort. It definitely takes an effort. And so that's what I'm saying. It's not going to happen overnight. It says make America, number 4, make America the dominant energy producer in the world by far. I definitely think we can do that one. I mean, that should not be a big, huge deal at all. right? All we got to do is, stop all these banning of fracking. Uh, you know, California is the worst. Okay, I live in California, and I have a friend that works at Chevron, and he's like, all the oil that we produce here in California, we have to put so many taxes on it, and so many things that we have to do to make it clean for California standards, which are much higher than anywhere else. That we send all our oil to other countries. No, you may be buying gas here in California, but it's all Saudi Arabian oil. It's none of our oil. That's basically what this buddy of mine said, who works over at Chevron. And I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that. So anyways, number 5, stop outsourcing and turn the United States into manufacturing superpower. Well, we started doing that with President Trump, and it didn't happen very. And he did all this tariffs, and everybody's like, "Oh, you can't put tariffs. Everybody's gonna charge more and do this." Now, what happened? A lot of companies came back to the United States. President Trump did that, right? Let's see. Large tax cut for workers and no tax on tip. We're going to talk about that tax on tip a little bit later, but definitely how it's going. All right, Gross said it's working and stuff. I just had to make sure. I understand everybody's over listening to Donald Trump on X, and no big deal. I get it. I totally get it. I do. But I feel sad. I'm like, where is everybody? Where is everybody? Anyways, let's keep on going. Number 7, defend our Constitution, our Bill of Rights, and our fundamental freedoms, including freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and the right to keep and bear arms. Another great move by President Trump. This is what he's going to focus on because, they're trying to take away our freedom of speech, right? They're trying to take that away. They don't want us to tell the truth, and that's why everybody's getting censored. So that's something good he's going to work on. The freedom of religion. I mean, they're trying to take religion out of schools now. That's awful. And keep the right to bear arms. I mean, I live in California, one of the worst states to live in. Every time I want to go buy a box of ammo, I have to sign a separate piece of paper for every box. I bought 4 boxes last time I was there. I had to sign 4 pieces of paper. All across the other nation, you only sign 1 piece of paper stating you buy ammo. It's awful, and they're trying to make it like California. Actually, they're trying to make it like another country we all know who has no weapons, right? I mean, look at Chicago. Chicago's banned weapons, and look at the state they're in. So, what's up, God Rides Harley? So number 8, his number 8 goal is to prevent World War III, which I hate to say it, the way things are going with the ding dong up there in the presidency and the vice ding dong up there. Third World War III might show up before President Trump can get in there. But we all know he was one of the only presidents to not start a war during his whole entire term. President Trump knows how to handle negotiations, and that's what we need. He can stop this. I have great feelings about this. I'm pretty sure that when President Trump gets in the office in January, he can get all the leaders together and talk it out. They can work it out. I'm sure of this. I have great faith in the President Trump. Number 9, end the weaponization of government against the American people. Well, you all know how I feel about that, right? I've had the FBI raid my house. It wasn't fun. All of my friends are sitting in jail right now. I got to talk to Enrique's mom twice a week just to check on her, make sure she's okay, and make sure he's okay. All because of the Democrats not wanting us to be able to get our word out. And they did that by arresting all the people from January 6th and scaring everybody to bejesus so they wouldn't speak out anymore. That's what they did. We're going to have to do a show on that, aren't we? Number 10, stop the migrant crime epidemic, demolish the foreign drug cartels, and crush gang violence, and then, of course, and lock up violent offenders. I agree. We got to do all that stuff. Great stuff. Great stuff. Number 11 says rebuild our cities, including Washington, D.C., make them safe, clean, and beautiful again. That's going to help us out in multiple facets, I think. Number 1, all of our businesses can start coming back. You know how many businesses we lose because downtowns of every major city, even my little city of Madera, it was just packed with homeless peeing and pooping and scaring off all of your customers and clients. If we can clean up the cities, maybe we'll get some more local businesses going again. Sorry, Donnie wants a treat, and there's no treats over here. Secondly, that's going to create so many more jobs. There's so many more jobs. All right, let's go to number 12. Strengthen and modernize our military, making it without question the strongest and most powerful in the world. That's a perfect idea. So, and people say, yeah, but we don't want to be war machines. Well, there's an old show called American Dad, and I got a video on it somewhere, but it's bad quality. So I'm going to explain it to you. So the very first episode, he's a major in the Army or Marines. I forget which one. And he's talking to a reporter. And, he said, they call it the peace. She's like, well, I hear you guys are building up and getting more weapons. And he's like, yeah, well, we call that a peaceful offensive or something to that. She's like, peaceful offensive? Yeah, whatever. And so he looks at this woman. He says, all right, attack me. And this woman, reporter, says, no. He's like, why won't you attack me? And she says, because you're a trained murderer. Why would I attack you? You're a trained murderer. That's the whole point, folks. We train and we make ourselves have the best military in the world so people won't attack us. That's the whole point of it. But isn't it legal to steal $950 worth of ammo in California? Well, I can steal up to $950 and it will only be a misdemeanor, I think, Raw. Number 13, keep the U.S. dollar as the world's reserve currency. Yeah, we used to our dollar used to be strong. It's not strong anymore. We got to make that strong again. Number 14, fight for and protect Social Security and Medicare with no cuts, including no changes to the retirement age. I agree with this because, Social Security is something you earn, right? The more you put into it, the more you end at the end of your years when you really need it. So it's really awful that you're putting in whatever percentage they're taking out right now. And then at the end, it's all gone because they spent it on other places. It's BS. We got to work to keep that up. So that's a good point right there, number 14. Number 15, cancel the electric vehicle mandate and cut costly and burdensome regulations. They're pushing electric vehicles. It's summertime here right now. You know what PG&E, my power company, says? Don't run your AC from 1 o'clock to 7 o'clock at night because you're going to overload the grid and we can't handle it. What's the point of having an air conditioner and electricity if I can't run it? And then you want everybody to buy electric vehicles. So what, you can't charge your vehicle anymore either? What happens if I got to take my stepdad to the hospital? What happens if that ambulance needs to take my stepdad to the hospital and there's no power because they couldn't charge between the hours of 1 and 7? We can't handle it. Stop pushing this electric vehicle stuff. Let's see. Number 16 here says, cut federal funding for any school pushing critical race theory, radical gender ideology, and other inappropriate racial, sexual, or political contact. Yes. I agree on all of these. Right? Number 17, keep men out of women's sports. Who doesn't want to agree with that stuff? Deport pro-Hamas radicals and make our college campuses safe and patriotic again. Another great idea. Number 19, secure our elections, including same-day voting, voter identification, paper ballots, and proof of citizenship. This one I love right here. Proof of citizenship. That's what we need. God Rides a Harley says, I say make them drive electric vehicles in democratic cities. I think so too. But the problem is they probably have multiples they charge or they rent, There's ways around it that, so they can't say, oh, it doesn't bother me. Number 20, unite our country by bringing it to new and record levels of success. That's the businessman idea. That's the businessman we have in President Trump, and I love it. I love this idea. Gross says, especially in D.C., make them drive around electric vehicles. Driving around D.C. was not fun when I was there. It was not fun at all. All right, let's get to news story 1. Biden explains his decision to withdraw from the election. He describes how he was forced to resign. He all but admitted he was pushed out of the presidential race by Democrat Party elites and specifically name dropped former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. I mean, come on, if the world was coming around, the United States was coming around, we all saw it. We saw it. You could see how demented the guy is. You could see how he can't even remember his own name sometimes. How many times did he go to one place and say, "Oh, it's nice to be in place number 2," right? He's fallen downstairs. He's done everything. So, I get it. I get it. But they can't promote him anymore because they've been hiding him so much. Like for the election, they hit him so he could win, even though I'm not sure how he really won. But so yeah, that's what they're doing. They couldn't protect him anymore. They couldn't cover up for him anymore, and people were realizing how stupid the Democrats were for protecting him. And well, it is what it is. It is what it is. What are they going to do? All right, get this. Tulsi Gabbard, my buddy Drunk Uncle, he kept saying, "Oh, she's going to go Republican," but I wouldn't trust her if she did. Tulsi Gabbard down there in the bottom left, she was placed on a TSA terror watch list by Biden. Well, his administration. She's speaking out after the Biden administration quietly put her on the Transportation Security Administration's terrorist watch list. Last month, her husband and her family were waiting at the airport to board their flight when they found out that their boarding passes were marked with SSSS. Now, that stands for the Quad S. And I wonder what the Quad S means. What is Quad S? I didn't get a chance to look that up. But it says this means that a passenger is viewed as a potential threat and subject to random searches. Now, this is the part that really is scary, folks. She also will unknowingly have 2 explosion detective canines teams, a transportation security specialist, an undercover TSA supervisor, and 3 federal air marshals on any flight she boards. I mean, if you're going to go through this much trouble for one person, just don't let them on the freaking flight. Why are we wasting all this money? Oh, I forgot. It's the government. The government loves to waste money. I forgot all about that. I mean, this is a joke. She needs all these people. And just think about that. If they could do that to Tulsi Gabbard because she's talking about switching from Democrat to Republican, what do you think they could do to us? What do you think they can do to us? It's a scary thing, folks. It is very, very scary. And I don't want to think about it because it's coming our way. Gra says, "I'd like to frisk her." Yeah, she is a beautiful young lady, isn't she? She's definitely a beautiful young lady. All right, the next one. Kamala Harris promises to fix the border crisis. Isn't this the same woman that not too long ago said there's no issue with the border? The border is fine. We got it all under control. I thought she said that. Why is she spinning her words now? Why is it not now? Right? It says now she's campaigning on the promise to fix the crisis in which she created the past 4 years. Harris called for a pathway to citizenship during her rally on Friday after accusing former President Donald Trump of not wanting to fix the southern border. Colin Rugg said Vice President Kamala Harris parrots Elizabeth Warren, and that's not good, calls for a pathway to citizenship after letting in 15 million illegal immigrants over 3.5 years. I wonder what this pathway to citizenship is going to say. My guess is, well, your pathway is we're going to register you to vote. We're going to register you as a Democrat. You're going to vote Democrat because we're the ones making it so you can come in. You can trust us, Democrats. When actually what they're really doing is turning them to slaves so that way they can control them. Like, here, we're going to give you free food. We're going to give you free home. We're going to give you, everything you need. Just vote for Democrats the rest of the time you're alive. And this is crazy. Like, I know this friend. I was talking to a friend a couple weeks ago, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm on aid," and I was like, "Really?" Now this is a single person, and she doesn't pay any rent, right? But this person said, "Well, yeah, my rent is $2,100 a month," and I'm like, "How do you afford $2,100 a month?" And this person's like, "Well, I don't. I'm on aid. I don't pay any money for my rent." And to me, I mean, good for this person, but I mean that's wrong. One person getting paid $2,100 a month for their rent. How does that even happen? Right? Yeah, Gra says that she's still vice president. On why doesn't she fix the border crisis now? You're right, Gra. That's a good point. So speaking of the border crisis, I'm going to show you guys this little clip right now because this is from my America at War documentary part 2 that I made with Ben Bergquam. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to test out the audio too with Gra, but I'm pretty sure it worked because I tried it earlier. And we're going to send this out to you. This is what we're going to show after the show. I'm going to show this full 30-minute long video to you. That's something that I made with Ben Bergquam. So here's a little preview, and it's talking about what they're doing with kids at the border.
Look at that, guys. Look at that.
Hopefully you
That's
can hear
not normal.
it.
That is not normal.
Little girls, little boys.
That's my good friend Agnes Gibney. Her son died to an illegal
bringing children in. That's an open door passport. Come on in. And thank God that now we're at least doing blood tests, DNA, to make sure that that's a child and a parent. And most of them are not. How shocking is that? And the worst part of it, they're recycling these children.
Yeah.
They get caught, they get sent back, and then they're back again with some other guy doing God knows what in the middle of the desert with those little children.
How he's holding that child, guys.
Awesome, bro.
Look at that. That's not normal. That's not normal. That's not normal.
Kids' socks, condoms, lubrication, and more ripped up documents. I pray for whatever kids this guy came in contact with.
Look at that, guys. That's not normal.
Yeah, they got their papers. Oh, okay. So they get a humanitarian visa from Mexico?
That's not normal. Fathers don't hold their children like that.
Right?
No.
All these guys, all of the adult males come with a child in their arms. They all say that they're their kids. Isn't it ironic that everybody coming over that's an adult male has one child with them?
Yeah. All right, guys. So that's a preview of what we're going to show you when we switch to Rumble only, which will be after a couple more news articles and stuff. And so, yeah, we're going to show you that on Rumble only. So if you're not on Rumble yet, go over to Rumble and join us on Rumble. All right. Here we go for the next one. Kamala Harris steals Trump's proposal. She announces that she wants to eliminate taxes on tips. Right? She's like, when I am president, we will continue our fight for working families of America, including to raise the minimum wage and eliminate taxes on tips for services and the hospitality workers. Well, number one, raising the minimum wage does nothing to help the common good. If you raise the minimum wage, the first thing that's going to happen, and we know this in California because it's happening already, they're going to reduce all employees' times, right? You're not going to work as much. They're going to get rid of employees. They're going to raise the prices because, if you raise the minimum wage here, it's a domino effect. It's just going to make everything get more and more. That's why we don't have a dollar menu anymore, folks. Right? That's why we don't have a dollar menu anymore. It's awful. Raising the minimum wage only helps the government because they get more money in taxes. That's who it helps. That's the only people it helps. Trust me, I know this. And the whole fact about stealing, I was running for county supervisor once. And I had a little issue that I had, I'll be honest, you know what? I got a DUI. I found out some bad news. I went and had a couple drinks. I hadn't slept in like a week because it's stressful running for county supervisor, let alone running for president. And so I made a mistake, and I learned from that mistake. However, right after that mistake, I was told I could no longer go to certain debates. They refused to let me into the debates. And at the one debate that they refused me to go in, I watched it online, and the Democrat that was running against me She actually stole what I went to the county supervisor's office, and she was an assistant there, so she had to be there. And she listened to my whole thing on homeless people. She quoted me word for word without quoting me. She said exactly what I said. So I called her up that night. I'm like, what the frick is this? You're copying every word that I said. And she was, well, I think that's true, Eddie. So I agree with you. That's why I said it. No, she stole my idea. Diggleworth says she's over there in Twitchland, but she's listening to the Trump rally. I get it. I get it. In fact, I can even show you a little bit of this county supervisor thing.
Hello. They're not you and every single day. Our possessions are being stolen.
Wait, hold on.
Fires are being started that could burn down entire neighborhoods. And then the rivers and other areas near the homeless camps are filled with trash and, worst of all, drug paraphernalia. Next week, over 3 days, there will be a count of the homeless in our county. This is not a mission to ask everybody why they're homeless. This is not a mission to ask the homeless how we can help them. This is not even a fact-finding mission. This is the only reason for this count is for the money. Because federal money is given out based on how many homeless people we have. Don't get me wrong, we need the money to help these people. But why don't we ask the people why they're in this predicament and how we can help them when we have the opportunity? We already have them fill out a questionnaire, so what's a couple more questions? There's not a single solution. Some people are homeless because they're down on their luck. Some people are homeless because they just want to be down there. And others are homeless because they have a mental disability. After they they receive this money. After they receive the money, these organizations go back. But do they ever come back and find out why to help out the people? They do not. How can you help someone when they're not informed? Do they just guess? Do they research it on the internet? Just because something works in New Orleans does not mean it's going to work here in Madera County. One shelter requires people to be homeless for a year before they can even apply for the program. That's 365 days in the cold winter and the hot summers. Another shelter requires the homeless to go to church, and during the day they must leave the facility. Why must they leave the facility? Why don't we keep them there and teach them skills? Many homeless people have drug issues. Do you know that the homeless shelter will drug test you before you can even go in? How can we help these people get off drugs if we won't even help them until they're off the drugs? This doesn't make sense to me.
That's just part of what I said there that day. And this Democrat woman, Letty, she copied every single one of it. All right, guys. So I'm going to show you. I'm trying to do a new thing. I have a good friend of mine who loves seeing my photos that I like to take of landscape and stuff. So we're going to show you a photo of the day. This is actually for me driving down my hill. This is actually where there's no service at all. And I was driving down the hill and I took this photo. So this is the photo of the day. And I hope you like it. Sharing my other skills that I do. Because I am a pretty good photographer, if you know what I mean. All right. Moving on to the next news. Enough about Eddie, even though I like talking about myself, By the way, I got a question for y'all real quick. Whoops, wrong one. I had to ask Hope and, some people what tie to wear today. Does this match? What do you guys think? You like my ties? Do you rather see me in a tie or what? Hopefully you all like my ties. And maybe one day I can get a new selection. Now, here's one thing, though. So I like to buy my shirts at the thrift store, right? Like I bought this at the thrift store. But the only problem is I was kind of in a rush the other day and I didn't check it all the way. So I bought this expensive shirt at the thrift store. All to find out it's got a tear in it. Got a tear in it. Thank you, Diggawart, for saying it's very pretty. Anyway, so that's it. So London police now. The police chief threatens to extradite Americans if they violate the UK disinformation law. What the heck is that all about, right? They don't have free speech over there. So the first thing that popped to my mind, I don't know about you, I love Cheech and Chong. And they have a movie, where they're at this house and they're, all of a sudden they're boom, 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 boom. It's ice. Come on out, everybody. Well, so what happened is, he explains, Chong's like, what's going on, man? He's like, well, we got a big wedding down in Mexico tomorrow. So we called the Migran ourselves. That way we get a free ride back to Mexico. I mean, that's what we could do. Let's all buy one-way tickets to the UK. We'll go hang out in London, right? But you only had to pay for one way. And then you just say something bad on the internet and pop you right back over here. I don't know. Sounds like a pretty good idea to me. What do you think? Well, yeah. So it says it says this. We will throw the full force of the law at people. Well, in the UK, they don't even really they don't have weapons, do they? They got those little bobby sticks. Remember? What was that show? The show, Benny Hill Show. And whether you're in this country committing crimes on the streets or committing crimes from further afield online, we will come after you. That's a threat. What are they? So wait a minute. If I'm committing crimes afield online, could that mean I could be in the United States and I could say this and they're going to come after me? Good luck, buddy. Good luck. Let's see. Here it says riots have broken out across the United Kingdom in recent days over false rumors spread online that the asylum seeker was responsible for a mass stabbing at a Taylor Swift themed dance event. And they're trying to say that that's fake news. I don't know. I didn't research that, right? Who knows? Who knows? Heck, maybe we should take the free ride home. You like the shirt, but throw the tie. Keep going. You'll find the perfect look. It's hard trying to look right for other people. Thank you, Dale. I had another tie in mind, but so I don't buy fake ties. I mean, I tie my tie myself. And I had another one that I put on, and it just didn't look right. So we went with it because I need to iron it. So I put this one on instead. All right, Tim Walz. You know, that guy from Minnesota who's supposedly going to be the next vice president, which I don't think is going to be. Tim Walz claims misinformation is not protected by free speech. I don't think that's true. You can type racist words. You can say racist words, but you have the freedom to say that. You shouldn't, but you have the freedom to say that. Just like, you know, you say that, you can expect probably a booty whipping or something, right? There's only certain things that you can't say that are against the law. And that's, you know, if it'll start, you know, certain things. Like if you're in a theater, you can't just yell fire when there's no fire. Because then, you know, people just start a stampede and somebody could, you know, get hurt. Yeah, that's illegal. And that's not protected by free speech. However, if I want to say, you know, Joe Biden sleeps with little kids, or does he? I can say it because that's my opinion. I'm allowed to have my opinion. Everybody's opinion is free. Gra says on the last one, if the U.S. complies UK law, that's a line they don't want to cross. Oh no, that's going to start. If they start doing that to us, that's not going to be good for anybody. Not going to be good for anybody. So here it says, individual and public officials may detest and condemn such speech, and platforms may choose not to carry it, but to insert the government into regulation of such expression would both set a troubling precedent and undermine our current First American principles in ways that should concern Americans across the platform. Yes, yes, and yes. You can't do that. I call that election integrity issues. Right? They're trying to suppress information. Look at the Joe Biden, Hunter Biden laptop. Oh no, that's fake. That's not true. Because it was right before the election. There's been polls done that if they had not said that was fake, and they actually showed the truth in news, which in the left-sided news, which they don't do, a lot of people would not have voted for Joe Biden. It's all about election interference, folks. That's what it all is. All right, so I got a question of the day. We're trying this new thing too. Question of the day: what superpower would you want? And it's unfortunate that everybody's over there with watching President Trump right now and speak with Elon Musk, because I was curious to see what you people would say. I know what I would do. Well, I don't know. I have a couple things. So, like, what kind of powers would you want? Would you like to be able to read people's minds? Would you like to be able to see the future? Do you want to be super powerful and strong? Do you want to have laser eyes? What kind of things would you want to do? I think I would, because I like playing poker and stuff. So I sort of think maybe I'd like to read people's minds, because then I could always win poker. I could know if they're bluffing, right? But then you would also know what everybody was thinking about you. I don't think you want to know what everybody's thinking about you all the time, right? That would be depressing, because not even your wife My girlfriend, she probably thinks bad things about me that she doesn't want me to know. That's why we have these little lies so people don't know. So I don't know if I would want to be able to read people's minds. It could be good for some things and bad for others. I think I'd want to be able to see the future so I can change it, right? And also so I can bet money, you know? I'd be like, all right, the Giants are going to win the Super Bowl this year and bet tons of money at the beginning of the year. So I don't know. Something to make me rich. And then when I do become the richest man in the world, I have this thing that I want to do. I would buy every single pharmaceutical company in the world. Because I'm the richest man already, right? And I would make them give away all the prescriptions for like $5 or $10, just enough to get by, to make a little bit of, just to pay my employees. And then I would look up and go and do the research and find out all these drugs. Like, I'm sure they've cured cancer. You telling me they haven't cured cancer yet? No, it's a money maker. I would find the stuff that cured cancer and give it to all the cancer patients right now. I would do that. That's what I would do. Gross says winning all the time could actually be hell. Yeah, I guess that would suck, right? Because if you won all the time, then the thrill is gone. And the thrill while playing poker for me is taking that risk. That's kind of bad too, I guess. I don't know, but what would you guys pick? Digga Warp says the mind. She said, think about all that you could fix. Well, think about that. And I'll be checking back on these chats and reading the chats to see what people say, what they would want. Would you want to be Superman, like superpower? Be able to fly through the air? I mean, it would be nice to be able to see through walls and clothing and stuff like that, You can see what's on the other side, like if you were a policeman or something. Who knows? Who knows? I feel you have a private show. Digga Warp says hi. You guys do have a private show. Well, there's 3 people on YouTube, 1 on Locals, 1 on Rumble, and 1 on Twitch. But I'm guessing that might be my software that's checking for all these chats. I'm not sure. All right, so here we go. President Trump unveils his new campaign ad detailing Kamala Harris' radical positions. So this is pretty funny. I actually have this so y'all can see it. Digga says hi to everybody. It says, former President Donald Trump played a new ad which takes aim at Vice President Kamala Harris. So guess what? I figured out a workaround, and I actually have it right here. So let's watch it because I enjoy it.
Grossly incompetent, and in my opinion, has a very low IQ. But we'll find out about her IQ during the debate. Okay, let's find out about her IQ. So, we have this great system. I want to show you just one other thing, please. Do you mind putting it up, please? Thank you.
We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe. And I don't understand the point that you're making. Talking about the significance of the passage of time, right? The significance of the music behind it. So when you think about it, there is great significance to the passage of time.
Ukraine is a country in Europe. It exists next to another country called Russia. Russia is a bigger country. Russia is a powerful country. Russia decided to invade a smaller country called Ukraine. So basically that's wrong.
So you're now no longer are you necessarily keeping those private files in some file cabinet that's locked in the basement of the house. It's on your laptop, and it's then therefore up here in this cloud that exists above us, right?
The Caribbean nations, island nations.
Is it Caribbean
in the
or
Western
Caribbean?
Hemisphere. That is where the Caribbean is. We are also in the Western Hemisphere. They are our neighbors. I am here, standing here on the northern flank, on the eastern flank, talking about
The northern,
what
I
we
mean
have in
eastern
terms
flank.
of the eastern flank. I can imagine what can be and be unburdened by what has been. Space is exciting. It is time for us to do what we have been doing, and that time is every day. Every day it is time for us to agree that there are things and tools that are available to us to slow this thing down. We will work together and continue to work together to address these issues, to tackle these challenges, and to work together as we continue to work.
Do you ban plastic straws?
I think we should. Yes. I mean,
Why?
look, I'm going to be honest. It's really difficult to drink out of a paper straw when if you're just like, if you don't gulp it down immediately, it starts to bend. And then, you know, the little thing catches it. And then, you know, so we got to kind of perfect that one a little bit more. Do you know? Okay, a bit of a history lesson. Do you know that
history?
the women's teams were not allowed to have brackets until 2022? So the United States shares a very important relationship, which is an alliance with the Republic of North Korea. AI is kind of a fancy
An
thing.
alliance with the Republic of North Korea. Huh?
It means artificial intelligence. As a woman, there's a balance to be
Is she sure she's a woman?
between being tough and being a turn that off.
And you want to be my next president? Wow. Digaware says, I want to be deaf.
So if you listen to Kamala's speeches, you'd never even know that she's been running the country. She's been running the country for 4 years and doing a horrible job. Look at what's happened to our country. We are a failing nation. I hate to say it. We are a failing nation. I wish I didn't have to do this. I wish I didn't have to go and do this. I wish they were great. I wish they'd make our country great, but they're going to destroy our country.
Yep.
You know it. They even know it. And probably they're doing it on purpose. It's hard to believe, but they're probably doing it.
There you go. That was the end of it right there, guys. I hear her and it feels like bugs under my skin, says Digaware. I agree. I totally agree. But I love the new ad. I do love it. It's on point and it tells everything you need to know, right? All right. Now this is John Kolb. John Kolb is the first guy that called out Tim Walz on being a P word, being a little bitch. Soon as the bullets started flying, he got the heck out of the National Guard. And so this is him in the bottom left corner. It says John Kolb posted a scathing message to Facebook regarding Governor Walz's military record. So I'm going to read it to you. I know, you guys don't normally like me reading the whole thing, but we're going to read this one for you. It says, I do not regret that Tim Walz retired early, right, from the Minnesota Army National Guard. He did not complete the Sergeant's Major Academy. He broke his enlistment contract or did not successfully complete any assignment as a Sergeant Major. Unwittingly, he got out of the way for better leadership. Thomas Behrens was the right leader at the right time. He sacrificed to answer the call, leaving his family, his business, and farming partner brother to train, lead, and care for our soldiers. He earned the privilege of being called Command Sergeant Major. Like a great leader, he ran towards and not away from the guns. I have no opinion of Mr. Walz's decision to leave service at the time he did. It was his right to retire early. I also have no criticism of his service as an E7 and E8 in the Minnesota Army National Guard. By all accounts and on the record, he was a competent chief of firing battery, gunnery sergeant, and first sergeant. I cannot say the same of his service sitting, frocked in the CSM chair. He did not earn the rank or successfully complete any assignment as an E9. It is an affront to the non-commissioned officer corps that he continues to glom onto the title. I can sit in the cockpit of an airplane. It does not make me the pilot. Similarly, when the demands of service and leadership at the highest level got real, he chose another path. He bitched out. That's what he did. I'll say it for him. All right, guys. So this is the end of our news story. I was going through old videos and stuff like this, and I just want to show you an event. So this is an event I filmed way back in 2020, and it was called Liberty Fest. And I thought you guys would enjoy seeing what it's like in California. This was during COVID. It was May 1st, 2020, I believe. And I made this video for my friends, the Freedom Angels, who actually hosted this event in front of the Sacramento State Capitol. May 23rd.
'cause I can't see you anywhere. 'Cause I wanna know what you're gonna want, don't wanna let you down. You just wanna know how far I will go, 'cause you know I will stay around. So let me know where to go. So let me know where to go.
There's Linda. That's my boy Brandon, but that's the point.
I am here wanting Gavin Newsom to open up California.
I am here exercising my First Amendment right to peacefully assemble to petition the government to redress our grievances. We need to open California. We need to get small businesses back to work.
Stand up for our liberties, our First Amendment, and our constitutional right to have a free, open state.
I have a lot of friends that are out of work right now and they can't pay their bills, and it makes me sad. I'm also here for the farmers, ranchers.
What do you want, Gavin Newsom? What do you want to say to Gavin?
I'd say, respectfully, sir, you're wrong. You need to open California. I probably would. I would rather say something else, but that's what I would say. First of all, I probably would ask him to listen to the people that are wanting our Constitution to be upheld, and that's his first job.
Somebody doesn't feel comfortable going to the business, and then they don't go. I don't think that we should have to change this new normal, to comfort people with this false sense of security of taking temperatures and masks and social distancing that really has no, scientific research behind it.
He needs to just resign.
I love that ending. Don't you guys love that ending? All right, guys. So I'm going to give you like 30 seconds. I am turning off. I'm going to turn off everything except for Rumble and Locals, even though we only got half an hour Locals. So yeah, go over to Rumble right now, guys, and you can watch America. Ooh, that hurt my ear. I hope it didn't hurt your ear. Go over to Rumble. Find us at Eddie Block Films at Rumble, because that's where we're moving to right now. Cross says bringing back the summer of love. I'm sure we are. So let's click here, Rumble and Locals only. Update stream in 3, 2, 1.